Nearman Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Tired.
how's it going, all you mentees? Uncanny Omar here from Nearman Condition, the home of collected editions. And it is that time of the month. That's right. It's time to empty our wallets and fill our shelves. We are looking at the collected editions coming out in June of 2024. So let's get this party started. And welcome back, everybody. Now, before going any further, a big thank you to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Could not be doing this without you all. And this is the monthly budget meeting that we do here every single month for the last, oh my gosh, I think it's going on 4 or 5 years. However long I've been doing it. Thank you all so much for joining me, and thank you all so much for reminding me that you enjoy this segment and you get so much out of it. As always, I do leave the written documentation in our Patreon if you want to join that. The link is in the description of this video. And a big thank you to Dom of X for putting all the info together, including the images. Oh my gosh, that is such a big time saver, my brother. And one other thing, I don't want to say a lot of books, but some books from Marvel, DC, Image Comics have shifted around. So you may see some books that I mentioned last month. We're kind of up to date, but just in case, you know, go to comicreleases.com in case you want to keep up with the most recent dates. And so I guess just a reminder that things are always going to change. There might be some delays, but this is the latest info that we have. We've got 4 weeks. Now, before I go any further, please don't forget to smash that like button. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. Very small thing you can do, but it does mean the world to us. And yeah, check us out on Patreon. Even if you want to just get the written documentation, we also have other tiers for you to join. And our spread shop where we have stickers and t-shirts and water bottles. Something like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. 4 weeks this month. From Marvel Comics, we are kicking it off with Black Panther by Eve Ewing, Reign at Dusk. This is Volume 2, collecting Black Panther issues 6 through 10, $15.99, 112 pages. And Alpha Flight, Divided We Stand. This is by Ed Brisson and Scott Godlewski. And this is the 5-issue miniseries from 2023. And I recognize the characters in the front. Nemesis and a couple of other spoilers maybe in the back. That's going to be interesting. Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer Omnibus Volume 2 is coming out. And that is collecting Amazing Spider-Man 44 to 73, 74 to the A and B stories, the C stories collected in the Beyond Omnibus, 50 LR to 54 LR, Amazing Spider-Man Sins Rising, Prelude, and Amazing Spider-Man Sins of Norman Osborn, Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man King's Ransom, Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man The Chameleon Conspiracy, and The Sinister War 1 through 4. If you haven't had a chance to watch my video, it is in beautiful mapping order. Everything is mapped properly. $150, 1,336 pages. Both covers available the same day. Fantastic Four by Ryan North. The Impossible is Probable. This is Volume 3, collecting issues of the Fantastic Four 12 through 17. Ivan Coelho, Ivan Fiorelli, and a couple of other artists. And then, of course, the cover art there by Alex Ross. One of my favorite series that has come out in recent years with the Marvel's first family. And this one is $19.99 and it has 144 pages. Iron Man is kicking off his modern era epic collection with World's Most Wanted. This is collecting Invincible Iron Man, so the Matt Fraction run, 1 through 19, and it has 496 pages, $44.99. We're not done with Omnis because also coming out that week is the Fantastic Four by Wade and Wieringo Omnibus. And both covers available that very same day. And we are also getting the Daredevil Epic Collection Fall from Grace. You all asked for it to be reprinted, and here it finally is for the people that missed out on it. This is the era with D.G. Chichester. Much love to my folks overseas, but I think I actually, somebody forwarded me a video of how he pronounces his last name, and he does pronounce it Chichester. But then again, I live in Kentucky, where it's Versailles, not Versailles. So take that as you will. Scott McDaniel's beautiful artwork in here. This is issues 319 to 332, and then Daredevil annual number 10. I love this era. I know it is very divisive. People did not like the edgy black costume. People didn't like the return of a certain character. I dug it. I thought it was excellent. But to each their own. Spider-Man Reign is getting a new printing. This is the Carrie Andrews story that takes a lot of inspiration from The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, even so much so as the artwork, and it's that kind of alternate future. Collecting all 4 issues of the miniseries from 2006, $19.99, 160 pages. There is a Reign 2 that is coming out. I don't think it's out yet, but it is coming out. And probably the reason why that is coming back to print. From DC Comics, we are getting Barda, the graphic novel. This is a smaller digest-sized book. Also, Green Lantern by Jeremy Adams, Volume 1, back in action. And that is collecting the Green Lantern 1 through 6 and Night Terrors 1 and 2. This is a trade paperback, 216 pages, $19.99. Not just Jeremy Adams, but Sarmanico doing the artwork here. And there are 2 covers for that particular book that kicks off. I guess this is the new dawn of DC era. Hawk Girl, Once Upon a Galaxy by Jadzia Axelrod and Amancay Nahuelpan. And this is collecting Hawk Girl 1 through 6 and 136 pages, $16.99. Shazam! Volume 1, Meet the Captain by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. If you couldn't get enough of the world's finest, here they are in another title. This collects DC's Shazam 1 through 6, otherwise known as Captain Marvel to a lot of folks. Titans, Volume 1, Out of the Shadows. Tom Taylor, Nicola Scott, and collecting the first 5 issues of... I may do like a bundle overview of these books, since they are part of the new DC. Oh, if I have time, I promise I will try. But you got me at Nicola Scott, man. I love her art. The Little Endless Story Books box set. And of course, this is the works of Neil Gaiman, but Jill Thompson's beautiful artwork and also her writing in here. You have Delirium's Party, A Little Endless Storybook, and The Little Endless Storybook. Both are completely adorable. And this also has, I think it's from the pages of Sandman number 40. Identity Crisis, the 20th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. So coming out in a deluxe format, it has been available in trade, it's been available in hardcover, it's been available in an absolute edition. But coming out in a deluxe hardcover, collecting the 7-issue miniseries, plus the Identity Crisis number 1 script. There are 2 covers. There's the classic cover by Michael Turner, and then the new cover by Rags Morales, who was the series artist. And this is all the work of Brad Meltzer, 312 pages, $49.99. I am including Batman Justice Buster here because it's a DC book, even though it is a manga. This is Volume 3 by Eiichi Shimizu and Tomohiro Shimigochi. And this is $9.99 for 160 pages. We're not done with Batman because I guess this kind of goes with the manga because it is a smaller digest-sized book. Batman, The Court of Owls, the DC Compact Comics Edition. So this kicks off the DC Compact Comics, which are digest-sized books, for $9.99. But collecting Batman 1 through 11, 304 pages. So I need to do an overview of this one too, because it's not the only compact-sized book we're getting. We're getting Watchmen, DC's Compact Comics Edition, $9.99, 416 pages, and... it is a digest-sized book collecting the entire 12-issue maxi series. And one of those things that I remember Curtis and I talking about, he thought it was a really good idea. When I think of digest-sized books, I always think of like geared more towards kids. But he said, yeah, but these are good for like college students that are going off campus and wanting to read something on the go. I guess not meant for maybe my older eyes that need readers or progressives or whatever the hell they're called these days to read small font, and these are going to be smaller, especially those 9-panel or page grids from Watchmen. Anyway, I'll be doing an overview of it because I'm curious myself how they're going to look. From the world of Image Comics, we have Dead Lucky Volume 2, and that is by Melissa Flores and French Carlo Magno, $17.99, collecting issues 7 through 12 of Dead Lucky. We are also getting the Duke Volume 1 coming out that very same day from the world of G.I. Joe by Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley, Jordi Belair, and collecting the first 5 issues of Duke. Geiger Volume 1 is coming out in a deluxe hardcover edition, finally. And if you haven't had a chance to read Geiger, it is freaking awesome. It is by Jeff Johns. Grizz Grobiz is coming out in a trade paperback format, and that is by Simon Roy, both the art and the story. And it's perfect for fans of Hayao Miyazaki, Asterix, and Arthur C. Clarke. I dig that cover a lot. That cover looks awesome. And Patrolhead is coming out that very same week, and that is a volume 1 by Rob Williams and Pi Par, collecting issues 1 through 5 of that series. And we're also getting Phantom Road volume 2, and this is from Jeff Lemire, Jordi Belair, and Gabriel Hernandez Walter. So collecting issues 6 to 10 of Phantom Road. That cover is creepy. Quest Volume 1 is coming out from the mind of Jonathan Luna and Crystal Wood. And it's one of the Luna brothers that did Girls. And if you haven't read that, that is a creepy story. But this is just one of them. So this is collecting issues of Quest 1 through 5. And from Dark Horse Comics, we are getting the Powers Volume 6 coming out from Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming, collecting Power Series 3, issues 1 through 11, and behind-the-scenes content from the making of the superhero noir classic, $29.99, 432 pages. And from Boom Studios, wow, here's another one. The Grimm Deluxe Edition is coming out that very same week. I just finally got a chance to read the first trade, and I really dug it. My buddy Barr sent them to me for my birthday gift, and I had no idea there was a deluxe edition until we were doing Old Reader, New Reader on Poison Ivy. So this is collecting the first 15 issues, because I think it's a volume 1, so I assume there's going to be more. And there's going to be several covers for those. There's a slipcase edition, too. And by covers, I'm sorry, there's going to be a signed edition, too. But I think you can only get that through their shop, through Boom's shop. And Once in Future, Book 1, is getting another printing. So in case you missed it the first time it came out, it is coming out with a second printing. And coming out that week, also from Boom Studios, we're getting Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, Volume 2. Jason Aaron and Leila Del Duca are the creators behind this. The Rise and Fall of Golgonooza. It's a little hard to say. And from IDW Comics, we are getting Star Trek New Worlds coming out that week. And that is by Mike Johnson and also Ryan Parrott and Angel Hernandez. This is a trade paperback for $19.99, and it has 128 pages. And collecting the 5-issue series by Star Trek veterans Ryan Parrott, Mike Johnson, and Angel Hernandez. Wonder how long they have been writing Star Trek to be veterans now. Whenever I see things or words like that, it just makes me feel old. Best of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Collection Volume 4 is now coming out, featuring more villains here on the cover. And it includes the works of Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and then of course Jim Lawson, Tom Waltz, Eric Burnham, Sophie Campbell, Corey Smith. $24.99, 288 pages. I've done an overview on the channel of those best stuff if you want to go and check them out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jennika, the 5th Turtle's coming out. So this is collecting her first appearance, going through issues 93 to 95 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2019 Free Comic Book Day issue, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jennika 1 through 3, and then Jennika 2, 1 through 6. So it just features milestones from Jennika's character arc throughout the ongoing Ninja Turtles era. Dungeons & Dragons Saturday Morning Adventures 2. And if you grew up in the 80s, you know who these characters are. David Boer and George Cambadayas are the creators behind this. $16.99, 104 pages. And Dungeons & Dragons Fortune Finder by Jim Sub and Jose Haro. So this is from, Jim Sub, who loves playing RPGs and role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games. I can't mix up the two. My fault. From the world of Dynamite, we are getting the 007 Book 1, Myrmidon. And that is a hardcover by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Marco Finnegan. And this collects all 6 issues of that series, including that new cover by Mark Aspinall. And we're also getting Barbarella, Woman Untamed, Volume 2 coming out. Love that cover by Derek Chu. Also coming out that week from Dynamite is Vampirella Year 1, and that is a trade paperback. With the exception of James Bond, these were all trade paperbacks. And Ergun Gunduz is the cover artist on that. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Jay Lee with David Mack. I dig it though. This is Christopher Priest and Giovanni Timpano working on that particular book. And then Lilo and Stitch Ohana, the direct market cover, is coming out that week. That is the Greg Pak and Julia Giancomino. I think it was a miniseries. Yeah, it's 4 issues. And it does have a Joshua Middleton cover. Now, from the world of manga, we have Kaiju number 8, volume 10 coming out that week. And that is, of course, published by the folks over at Viz Comics. And we're also getting Let's Do It, volume 1. And oh my gosh, continuing My Hero Academia, volume 38 of My Hero Academia. That is crazy. But good on them for continuing that series. Tengen Hero Wars is coming out with a volume 2. And that's by Yasu Hiromoto. And that is published by Titan Comics. From other publishers, we have 40 Years of Scream, the archival collected hardcover slipcase edition. And that is being published by the folks at Rebellion 2000 AD. I dig that slipcase. That is awesome. This one has the price of $92.99, but it looks like it's oversized. I don't see the dimensions, but it is a diamond exclusive slipcase edition, so you can't get this one from Amazon or anywhere else. Alan Moore, Simon Furman, John Wagner, Alan Grant. Holy crap, that creative team. Those are just the writers. Cam Kennedy, Jose Ortiz, Jesus Redondo, Brendan McCarthy, Mike Western. Oh, yeah. That looks awesome, man. I almost said a Pillsbury. I'm sorry. A Pillbug story is coming out in graphic novel format, and that is being published by the folks over at Black Panel Press. And we're also getting the Ablaze Pride 2024 collection. An Outbreak of Witchcraft is coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks over at Little Brown Ink. And it is coming out in a hardcover and a trade paperback edition. And Mankind Created the Gods. That's coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks at Graphic Mundi. PSU Press. Best of 2000 AD. Continuing their best of. Hence the title. Volume 6 is coming out that very same week, as well as Big Ethel Energy Volumes 1, 2, and 3 being published by the folks over at Archie Comic Publications. And we're getting Bigfoot and Nessie Volume 1, The Art of Getting Noticed. And Bigfoot and Nessie Volume 2 is also coming out that week, Haunting of Loch Ness Castle. Now, one of my wonderful patrons sent me this book. Dana, big shout out to you. I'll be doing an overview of this hopefully sometime soon. But this is the complete web of horror hardcover from Fanatic Graphics. It's got Bernie Wrightson and Michael Kaluta, Ralph Reese. This book was 10 years in the making, and I'm going to be interviewing the collection editor, Dana, probably when I come back from Japan. I'll talk more about the behind the scenes of how they got this started, but it is coming out that week finally, and the book looks absolutely stunning, by the way. It's an anthology horror series. Crow King Volume 2 is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks over at Rocket Ship Entertainment. And we're also getting Sin, ZYN from Humanoids Incorporated. This is a trade paperback by Ibrahim Mustafa, both the artist and the writer on the book. Deep Dark is coming out that week from the folks at Graphics, and that one is $16.99. Fantagraphics Underground Hurricane Nancy is coming out that very same week, but it's not the only Fantagraphics Underground that's coming out, because we're also getting the Ready America, and that is a trade paperback, and Anna Hayfish is doing that, $19.99. And Fugitive Out of Time is coming out from Harper Alley, but just check out the witty way that Fugitive is spelled there. And Hap Haven Deluxe Edition is coming out from the folks at Oni Press, and this is by Norm Harper and Louis Joyce, $24.99, and it is a deluxe edition hardcover. And we're also getting Hard Switch coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Avery Hill Publishing. And Hug Book and Laser Eyes is coming out in a hardcover format, and that is being published by the folks at Fantagraphics as well. Live Forever Volume 2 is coming out that week, and that is being published by Rocket Ship Entertainment for $19.99. And we are getting the Night Stories folktales from Latin America. Man, if they don't have El Tunche in there, I don't know who's writing this book. Just my mom telling me horror stories about El Tunche, and I lived in Peru. Anyway, that's just one of them. And then there were like Will-O-Wisp stories in here. But La Lechuza, enormous owl with the face of a woman. Oh my gosh. La Luz Mala. La Luz Mala, I remember that. A spooky... Okay, sorry. It's just... You had me at Latin America Folktales. Night Stories, though, by Veronica Arguel and Lee Durfee Lavoie. That looks like it will be added to the cart. Who's the publisher on that? Toon Books. Alright, and Second and Love is coming out in a trade paperback format, and that is by Drawn and Quarterly. And we're also getting the Six Gun Omnibus Volume 3, which I've done an overview of already. If you want to go back and check that video out. Strangers in Paradise Volume 4. I love that Terry Moore is putting these in different formats. And Terry and the Pirates, the Master Collection Volume 7. And now it's being published by the folks at Clover Press. So they're continuing that particular line. And then we're also getting the Winx Club Volume 2, Friends, Monsters, and Witches, coming out that very same week. Now, if you're interested in some of the books I've talked about, check out our sponsor in Canada. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels. They have a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec, and their website, bdcosmos.com, offers 25% off your order of over $99 or more, and free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order of $200 or more.
Their shipping care is exceptional. Your books will stay cozy through the rough Canadian weather and arrive to you in near mint condition.
After checkout, let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way, and you'll be added to the monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers.
Don't be afraid to call or email them. Ask them questions. Their staff is always happy to help guide you towards the right purchase. Visit their website, bdcosmos.com, for more. BD Cosmos, with rewards and raffles taking care of customers in Canada. Eh?
The week of June 12th from Marvel Comics. Hey, that happens to be my oldest, Lydia's birthday. We have Marvel Masterworks, The Avengers, Volume 2. This is the Remasterworks program, and collecting issues 11 through 20 of The Avengers, $75 and 240 pages. So both covers available that day. Black Widow by Kelly Thompson. Now, every month I do my top 10 upcoming collected editions that I'm looking forward to. Sometimes 11, sometimes 13, depending on, how many books there are. This one will be on there. I love this book. It's amazing. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi is coming out that week by Jody Hauser and Salvador La Roca. This collects Obi-Wan Kenobi 1 through 6, and it is an adaptation of the TV show. Star Wars Legends, The Rebellion Omnibus Volume 2, collecting Star Wars River of Chaos 1 through 4, The Empire 28 through 40, Rebellion 1 through 16, Boba Fett Overkill, Boba Fett the half issue Splinter of the Mind's Eye 1 through 4, and then material from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Rebellion 0, and Star Wars Tales 3, 15, 17, and 21. 1,024 pages, $125, and this is, of course, the Dark Horse era. Louise Simonson, June Brigman, and Hugh Fleming, of course, on that cover. The Incredible Hulk Volume 2, War Devils, by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein, Danny Earls, Alberto Albuquerque, collecting Incredible Hulk 6 through 11, the 2023 series, and then War is Hell, issue number 1. Wolverine by Benjamin Percy, volume 8, Sabretooth War, part 1 is coming out in a trade paperback format. Collecting Wolverine 41 through 45, $17.99, 144 pages. Star Wars The High Republic Phase 3 Volume 1, Children of the Storm. So this is all part of the Phase 3 of The High Republic, collecting Star Wars The High Republic, the 2023 series, 1 through 4, and then material from Star Wars Revelations. Thor Epic Collection The Lost Gods. So this is collecting Journey into Mystery 503 to 513, the -1 issue, Valkyrie one-shot from 1997, Hercules and the Heart of Chaos 1 through 3. If you're wondering what this is the stories that Tom DeFalco kept telling with, who else? Mike Deodato Jr. Studio was actually drawing this, so you can have artwork in here from like Ed Benes. And I think John Buscema actually has a story in here, and Ron Friends. But when Thor went over to the Heroes Reborn universe after Onslaught, we still had a Thor comic. So what they did is reverted back to the title Journey into Mystery and talked about the other gods that aren't Thor, even though that dude on the cover looks like Thor. And that's all explained in those pages. But he has been around. Thor by Walter Simonson Omnibus is getting a new printing. And let me tell you, that spine on the Beta Ray bill, or the cover, the direct market cover, awesome. Awesome. X-Men Epic Collection, The Gift, is also getting a new printing, collecting Uncanny X-Men 189 to 198, X-Men Annual Number 8, X-Men and Alpha Flight 1 and 2, and Nightcrawler 1 through 4, that miniseries. If you haven't read these stories, oh man, classic stuff. Leading up to the trial of Magneto, you have Phoenix and the Selene story. X-Men Annual Number 8 is one of my favorites because it's like a take on the fairy tale stories by Kitty Pryde. X-Men and Alpha Flight, of course, by Paul Smith, and then Nightcrawler by none other than his co-creator, Dave Cockrum. 512 pages, $49.99. From the world of DC Comics, we're getting Batman Beyond Neo-Gothic Volume 1. This is by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. I had no idea they were writing this. Collecting Neo-Gothic 1 through 6. Nightwing Volume 3, The Battle for Bloodhaven's Heart. Collecting issues of Nightwing 92 to 96. And these are Eisner Award winners for Best Continuing Series, as Eisner Award nominee for Best Penciler Inker, and Eisner Award winner for Best Cover Artist Bruno Redondo. $16.99, 136 pages. JLA Year 1 is coming back out in a trade paperback format, collecting Year 1, 1 through 12, by Mark Waid, Brian Augustine, and Barry Kitson. That same team would go on and do Empire. Secret 6 by Gail Simone Omnibus. You damn right that's going to be on the top 10. I've been waiting for this book, but I'll talk more about it then. And then Naomi Season 2, trade paperback. Maybe this is maybe now it's the time. I feel like this book has been delayed for 2 years. Not sure what's going on there. From Image Comics, we have Hack Slash Back to School trade paperback volume 1, and that is, of course, by I know that Zoe Thorogood is the artist, but I had no idea she was also writing these particular stories in here. So it is all set in the world of Hack Slash, and that is awesome. I love her artwork. I haven't read it yet, but I've been told it's solid. And then Junior Baker, The Righteous Faker, is coming out that week, and that is by Joe Casey and Ryan Quackenbush. And collecting Junior Baker, The Righteous Faker 1 through 5. We are also getting from Image Comics Midlife or How to Hero at 50. Please don't remind me that Midlife is at 50. I don't appreciate that reminder. I'm 46. Anyway, this is by Steve Buccellato and Stefano Simeone, and collects issues 1 through 60. And it looks like, I don't know, just based on the colors and that symbol and the logo, maybe it's part of the Massive universe, that whole Radiant Black universe. I could be wrong. Our Bones Dust is coming out that week as well, and that is by Ben Stenbeck and Dave Stewart, collecting the 4-issue miniseries Our Bones Dust. And we are also getting Minecraft Omnibus Volume 2 from Dark Horse Comics. And Coda False Dawns trade paperback is coming out from Boom Studios. And also from Boom Studios is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Necessary Evil trade paperback Volume 2. From IDW, we're getting Dungeons & Dragons Library Collection Volume 2. This is a trade paperback. And I love that cover by Valerio Schetti. That's a Schetti cover? Or that's who it's credited to. Paul Criley, Ed Greenwood, and Jib Sub. And this again is a trade paperback. Whenever I see library, I automatically think, oh, oversized hardcover, of course. And The Hunger and the Dusk is coming out, Volume 1. And that is by G. Willow Wilson and Chris Wildgoose. Doesn't say that this is set in Critical Role or Dungeons & Dragons, but this collects issues 1 through 6 of the critically acclaimed hit series. Alright, we'll be reading it that way then. And then TMNT Turtle Power Pack Volume 1 is coming out. And that looks like the 2013 TMNT series. So collecting TMNT Amazing Adventures 1 and 2, TMNT Adventures 18, TMNT New Animated Adventures 1, and TMNT Universe number 10. So it's just an array of different eras of TMNT. From Dynamite, Garbage Pail Kids, Origins, hardcover and trade paperback have been moved to that particular date. I think that's been pushed back since March, if I'm not mistaken. But knock on wood, it will come out. And also, Red Sonja Volume 1, His Master's Voice, is coming out that very same week. And that is by friend of the channel, Torun Grumbeck, with Walter Giovanni on art, collecting the first 6 issues and the prologue, issue number 0 from Dynamite's 2023 Free Comic Book Day. And Vampirella versus the Superpowers, that cover by Zozo Maika. Wow. Dan Abnett. What the hell am I saying? Pascual Qualanco. Collects issues 1 through 5. Okay, let's move on to manga with Hellsing Volume 8. And this is they were calling it the deluxe edition, and then they changed it to the second edition. We're also getting the Blue Period box set by Suba Yamaguchi, and this is collecting the first 5 volumes with a 16-page booklet containing color and black and white illustrations from Kodansha, $77.94 though. Those used to be cheaper, but hey, I guess everything else has gone up in price. The Ninja vs. Gokudo is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Kodansha as well. And One Piece Ace's Story Volume 2, the story by not just Eiichiro Oda, but also Sho Hinata and Tatsuya Hamazaki. And Boichi is the artist on this, I believe. Yeah. And I think Oda is credited, but I think it's just based on his work. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, Omnibus Volume 2, I had no idea that these were coming out in Omnibus format, honestly. Skip Beat Volume 16 is coming out, and that is being published by the folks at Viz. What I find really interesting is that I had no idea that these were coming out in a 3-in-1 format. Because I remember my wife, Melanie, when we were reviewing manga, that was one of the books that Viz was coming out with, and just in standard size format. But pretty cool that that's coming out in a 3-in-1. Awesome. All right. everything else, let's look at what we got. The Art of Brian Boland is coming out in a hardcover format, and that looks gorgeous. I think it's a new printing. The Adventures of Tintin, the collection set, is coming out that very same week, and I opted out for the bigger printing, like the yellow box set. But I had to import that one in. I think it came from was it Australia, if I'm not mistaken? Just because the Tintin, the smaller ones, yeah, that was not for me. I was not for my eyesight. Albert Einstein, Poetry of Rio. This is coming out in a hardcover format. And we're also getting Allura, Witch Princess. And we're also getting the American Book Chronicles, 1940 to 1944. That's coming out in a hardcover format. Blackula, The Return of the King, is coming out in a trade paperback format. And we're also getting that very same week. The Brownstone is coming out, and that is coming out in a graphic novel and a hardcover format published by the folks at Versify. And The Cannibal is coming out that very same week, and that's being published by the folks over at Inhabit Media. Children of the Phoenix Volume 2 Iron Rose is coming out that week, and that is being published by Paper Cuts, and this is by Oscar Calder and Carl Johnson, $14.99. We are also getting Church of Hell coming out that very same week, and also getting the Detective Sweet Pea Volume 1 Case of the Golden Bone. You know, when Detective Sweet Pea is on the case, no stone will be left unturned. I don't know why I'm sharing dad jokes with you all. Maybe because my kids are at my parents' house today. Fantagraphics Underground Kate Carew is coming out. And Fantagraphics Underground Stan Max Real Life Funnies is coming out. Phineas and Ferb Classic Comics is coming out. That reminds me of watching that with my kids. I think we listened to that soundtrack so many times. That's being published by Paper Cuts, coming out in a hardcover and a softcover format. And Prince Valiant Volume 28 from Fantagraphics, 1991 to 1992, is coming out that week. And if you haven't gotten those are big, beautiful books. They come out in slipcases too, with I think it's 3-in-1 in there, in the slipcases. And Penelope and the Mystery of the Missing Moon is coming out that week, and that is a cute title. We're also getting The Self-Esteem and the End of the World coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Drawn and Quarterly. Cover looks interesting. This is by Luke Healy. Oh, okay. I do like his stuff. It's 2 decades of tragicomic self-discovery. Huh. That looks like a deep read. Shadow over Innsmouth is coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks at Blue Fox Comics. And we're getting Starblazer Volume 1. And why I didn't put it with the Starblazers is because, well, it's not Starblazers, the manga. It's Starblazer, Space Fiction Adventures in Pictures by DC Thompson is the publisher. Grant Morrison, though, Enrique Alcatena, and Neil Roberts, $22.99. This is a trade paperback. And Twisted Tale Straight On Till Morning is coming out that week, as well as the Vera Bushwhack, Drawn and Quarterly, is publishing that book. And that's by Zig Borwash, and $29.99. And that is also a trade paperback. Now, we are also getting that week the Wolf Pitch, Volume 1. Or no, it's just a graphic novel. And to wrap up that week is Work-Life Balance. Now, if you're interested in purchasing any of these books and you live in Europe, check out our sponsor.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, And you can use the code Near Mint Condition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
June 19th, Marvel Comics brings us Uncanny Spider-Man Fall of X by Cy Spurrier, Lee Garbett, Javier Pina, just to name a few of the creators. That covers by Tony Danieldo, collecting Uncanny Spider-Man 1 through 5 and X-Men Blue Origins. And if you haven't followed Cy Spurrier's X-Men, oh, it's been so fun. Confusing as hell, not gonna lie, but fun. Marvel Masterworks, The Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 26, coming out. This was a close one to make it in the top 10, just because I really like these stories, and we've been waiting for a while on these in the Epic format, but now they're coming out in Masterwork format, and these are also not available in Omnibus format, but this is collecting Amazing Spider-Man 271 to 278, Spectacular Spider-Man 111, and then the graphic novel 22, and Marvel Fanfare 27, Tom DeFalco and Tom Friend's era of Amazing Spider-Man, both covers available the same day. I mean, this is the continuation of the Hobgoblin when he's unmasked. I'm not sure why I was doing that. But it also has the Return of the Beyonder and Puma, and the Return of the Beyonder is just so ridiculous. Mephisto shows up in this one too. Captain America Modern Era Epic Collection, and where else are you going to start but the Winter Soldier? Ed Brubaker, Steve Epting, Michael Lark as some of the creators here, collecting Captain America 1 through 17 and the #1 director's cut and Captain America's 65th anniversary special. $44.99, 472 pages. ROM, the original Marvel years, Omnibus Volume 2, because you all were so excited about Volume 1. I'm so glad that people were that hyped up for something like this. Because, you know, there are some people that were like, what is ROM? Who is that? And a lot of you, like, came from this particular era and knew who it was. So I'm glad, you know, this did well, and it's going to get all 3 volumes, and no word yet on an Epic collection, but who knows. Collecting ROM 30 through 50, Annuals 1 and 2, and Marvel 2 and 199. This is 664 pages, $125. Coming back to print is The Punisher Max by Garth Ennis, Omnibus Volume 1. And this collects Born 1 through 4, which is crazy, and I know it's a story that some people did not like it because of what happens in it. It's a little bit of a retcon, and others loved it. Punisher 1 through 30, this is no holds barred. Garth Ennis just having fun with the character of the Punisher. You have Derek Robertson, Luis La Rosa doing some of the artwork in here with Doug Braithwaite. And Tim Bradstreet still supplying some of the covers, but both covers are available the same day. Star Wars Legends has been pushed back to this day. The Epic Collection, The Old Republic, Volume 1, because of that no logo on the spine that I showed off on a couple of videos. But especially the Saturday live stream, if you don't watch those. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 through 18, and then material from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Rebellion 0. Now, people were asking me, you know, now that they're getting an Epic collection, does that mean, even though it was in the top 20 most wanted omnibus reprints, are they not going to do it? Never lose faith. They're 2 different things, Epics and Omnis. So Marvel knows that. DC Comics, we're getting Tales from Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, coming out in a trade paperback format now by Joshua Williamson, Rafa Sandoval, and collecting Justice League Road to Dark Crisis 1, Dark Crisis The Deadly Green 1, Dark Crisis The Dark Army 1, Dark Crisis Warzone 1, and Dark Crisis Big Bang 1. $19.99, 208 pages. We're also getting the Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries Volume 4 coming out that week. I haven't read those, but I did like the Scooby-Doo comics. I thought those were great from DC. Next up is Super Sons, The Complete Collection Volume 1 by Peter Tomasi. This is a trade paperback. It's not a DC's finest, but it is one of those new thick books. Collecting Super Sons 1 through 14, Super Sons Annual 1, Super Sons Dynamite Special, the Superman 10 and 11, 37 and 38, Teen Titans 15, and then a story from DC Rebirth Holiday Special number 1. 552 pages, $49.99. And from Image Comics, we are getting Bloodrick, coming out, and that is in trade paperback format. And that is by Andrew Krognick, and he's also the writer and artist, and this collects Bloodrick 1 through 3. Andrew Kronke. I'm sure I'm butchering that, and I'm so sorry, Andrew. And Cobra Commander, now this is the direct market exclusive cover, is coming out that day. So direct market only. Keep that in mind. So not Amazon, not Walmart, not Target. Not sure why I went with Walmart and Target. But I guess those are the other places you can get trade paperbacks, or the ones that I've seen. Barnes & Noble and places like that. Dandelion's coming out in a trade paperback format, and that is by Sabir Pirzada and Martin Morarsco. And this is Vanessa Del Rey. Redlands. Oh, okay. She's also one of the creators in here. And it doesn't say what it collects, so it might be an OGN. And we are also getting the Knights Season 1 Part 1 coming out in a trade paperback format, as well as Rocky Candy Mountain Complete. And this is by Kyle Starks and Chris Schweitzer. And this collects all 8 issues plus all the bonus material for $19.99. From Dark Horse Comics. We're getting quite a bit now. Dark Horse is stepping up. Love it. So we are getting the Critical Role, The Mighty Nine Origins, Caduceus Clay. That is coming out that week. And that is a hardcover. And 56 pages, $17.99. We're also getting Grendel Omnibus Volume 5. And this is the Grendel Tell. So this collects Devil Worships. So in the short stories from Grendel 40, 4 Devils, 1 Hell, 1 through 6, Devil's Hammer 1 through 3, The Devil in Our Midst 1 through 5, and The Devils and Deaths 1 and 2. $29.99, 432 pages. And that is one that is in trade paperback format. And also getting the Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Volume 3, Light and Shadow, coming out that very same week. And we are also getting the Killer Queens 2, Kings Not Wings, from David Boer, Bradley Clayton, Harry Saxon. And this is collecting Killer Queens 2, 1 through 4. Creepy Archives Volume 6. I love that they are continuing those. Doesn't seem like they're stopping, which is wonderful, because I think it's just one of those series that, much like the EC Library, definitely belongs in everybody's shelves. This is collecting issues 26 through 32. This is the black and white stuff, but you have Frank Frazetta, Tom Sutton, Neil Adams, Ernie Colin, just to name a few of the creators on here. $24.99, 288 pages. And the other thing to always keep in mind, too, is that these are in magazine size. If you've never had a chance to read them, they're wonderful. And also coming out that week is The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos. This is by James Tynion IV and Tate Brumball. And this is collecting The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos 1 through 6. I do believe the Amazing Amanda is going to be doing an overview of that. And also coming out that very same week from Dark Horse Comics, we have The Midnight Show. And that is by Cullen Bunn and Brian Hurt. And that collects issues 1 through 4 of The Midnight Show. And it's got like a sketchbook and all of that stuff. Operation Sunshine Volume 1 by Henry Zabrowski and Marcus Parks and David Rubin. And this is Volume 1, Blood Run, collecting Operation Sunshine 1 through 4. And Trick Pony is coming out that week. That is by Greg Luckard and Anna David. $22.99. And it is a trade paperback coming out. And we are also getting Kanto Volume 1, If I Only Had a Heart. And this is part of the Kanto stories, and that has been released by IDW in the past, but now they've come over to Dark Horse, and this is a hardcover this time around for $29.99, collecting the first arc of Kanto. And from Boom Studios, we have The Stuff of Nightmares, No Holiday for Murder. This is by R.L. Stein and Adam Gorham and Puce Back. And This is collecting the Stuff of Nightmares Red Murder and Stuff of Nightmares Sleigh Ride, $16.99. And also Dune, House Harkonnen, hardcover volume 3, collecting issues 9 through 12 by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson and Michael Sheffer. And IDW is giving us Dark Spaces Hollywood Special coming out that week. And that is by Jeremy Lambert and Claire Rowe. As well as Star Trek Defiant Volume 2 Piece of the Action by Christopher Cantwell and Mike Fian. Awesome. And from the world of manga, we're getting Adults Picture Books Volume 2. Not what I was expecting on that cover. This is by Kei Itoi and published by Yen Press. We're also getting Akko and Bambi Volume 2 coming out that very same week. And the Apocalypse Bringer Minogra Volume 1 coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks at Yen Press. As well as A Sinner of Deep Sea. I thought that was a Little Mermaid at first. It is not. But I do like that cover. And this one is $15. And it is a Volume 1. Black Summoner Volume 2 is coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks at Yen Press, as well as The Bride of the Barrier Master Volume 2 coming out that very same week. And we're also getting The Bloody Sweet Volume 3. And also published by Yen Press. Chasing Spica is coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks at Seven Seas Entertainment. No volume, just a one-shot. Danganronpa 2, Chiaki Nanami's Goodbye Despair Quest Volume 1 is coming out that very same week. And that is a mouthful. And we're also getting Full Night Volume 1 coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks over at Viz Media. As well as the Gannibal Volume 1 coming out that week. That's published by Ablaze Studios. Kamen Rider Kuga Volume 6 from Titan Comics. Pandora 7 Volume 3 is coming out that week. Now, I'm sure it doesn't, but I wonder if it does have... Is it tied to the Pandora Hearts world? It's from the artwork. Doesn't really look like it. Penguin Highway is coming out that week. And I want to know more about that particular book. Because... just can't name a book, Penguin Highway, and not be curious about it. This is published by Yen Press, and it is a graphic novel. I mean, it's a trade paperback, but it is $30, so it's a big, thick book. Playing Death Games, Put Food on Table is coming out that very same week from the folks at Yen On. And also, Rooster Fighter Volume 6, continuing that crazy story. Senpai, This Can't Be Love is coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks at Yen Press. And we're also getting the Sweet for Sweets and Foreigners Volume 1. What the hell does that even mean? Sweet for Sweets and Foreigners Volume 1. Tokyo Pop is publishing that. Okay. And also, the Sword Art Online Kiss and Fly Volume 1 coming out. I know that Sword Art Online is huge in Japan. For some reason, it never took off here as much as it did over there. I mean, just with the fan base that they have over there. Terror Man Volume 2 is coming out that week from Ablaze Publishing. And This Monster Wants to Eat Me Volume 1 is coming out that week, published by Yen Press, as well as the Vinland Saga Volume 3, and that is the deluxe edition hardcover. And to wrap up the manga for this particular week is Tezuka Shakespeare Manga Theater. This is being published by Ablaze Manga. I'm so glad that somebody is bringing these wonderful stories of Osamu Tezuka over to America. That's awesome. And as far as other publishers, we have All My Bicycles coming out from Fanatic Graphics. The Amelia Airwood Basics Witch is coming out that week, and that is being published by Z2 Comics. Apple Black Origins Spectrum and Spectre is coming out with a Volume 1, published by Saturday AM. And the Blondie Against Odds coming out that week, and that is a trade paperback from Z2 Comics. And Comics Review presents June 2024 coming out that week. And we're also getting the D. Snyder, He's Not Gonna Take It trade paperback. Now, if you're a fan of Twisted Sister, then this book is completely for you. This is by Z2 Comics, by D. Snyder himself, Frank Marafino, and Steve Kurth are the main creators on that. $24.99. We're also getting the Dickey Natural Born Loser hardcover. And that is being published by Fanfare. And Ibaraki and Friends is coming out in a hardcover format. And that is being published by the folks at Z2 Comics. And it looks like one of these little small books. Jason Derulo Uzo is coming out in a trade paperback format. And Judge Dredd by Brian Bolland Masterpiece Edition is coming out from Rebellion 2000 AD. Ken Parker Breath and the Dream, the Masterwork Edition, is coming out that very same week. That is by Epicenter Comics. And also getting the Major Laser Year -1. So not year 1, but -1. Got it. Do love that cover there. That's by Z2 Comics. They're putting out a lot this week. And Mighty Barbarians is coming out that very same week. That is being published by Ablaze Studios. And Moonray Echoes of Ascension is coming out from the folks at Living the Line. We got an early copy of that, and those books are beautiful. That's by Brandon Graham and Zurzo G. Penalta. And it's weird, eerie, and just surreal. And Ninjas vs. Ninjas vs. Aliens? Hell yes! And I knew it was an Antarctic Press before I even saw the picture. That is Ben Dunn working on this book years, decades after working on Ninja High School. And also Jim Felker, $19.99. And One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer hardcover coming out by Jarrett Williams. This is from Z2 Comics. They are just putting everything out this particular week. I guess if nothing gets delayed. Proxy Mom, My Experience with Postpartum. And that looks like a real deep read. That is being published by the folks over at NBM. And that is by Sophie Adrieson and Mathau. Man, that cover alone. It's heartbreaking. If you know anybody that's ever had to deal with that or suffering through that. Science of Ghost is coming out that very same week, and that is a trade paperback. And Legendary Comics is publishing that. The Sereno is coming out in a trade paperback format. I think that one was supposed to come out last week, if I'm not mistaken, by CEX Publishing. And The Sickness Volume 2 is coming out in a trade paperback format. And that is being published by the folks over at Uncivilized Books. That is a creepy, creepy cover. And we're also getting the Street Fighter Swimsuit Special Collection Volume 2. I've done an overview of this with my buddy TikTok Tina, if you want to go and check it out, but it is officially coming that day. The T-Dragon Society is coming out in a Treasury Edition. If you haven't read that, that is a beautiful, beautiful series. Tom's Bar is coming out with a Masterwork Edition that week, and that is published by the works at Epicenter Comics. Giancarlo Birardi is the writer, and Ivo Milazzo is the writer. $14.99. No, Milazzo is the artist on that book. Total Suplex of the Heart is coming out. Oh, it's a suplex! I totally misread that. Total Suplex of the Heart, hence that cover right there. Coming out in a graphic novel format from Humanoids Publishing. And we're also getting Unnatural Order Volume 1. And that is coming out from Bolt Comics. And this is by Chris Yost and Val Rodriguez, collecting issues 1 through 4 of the top 10 best-selling comics of 2024. Interesting. I can't wait to read that. That looks awesome. We're also getting the Walking Distance trade paperback coming out that week. And then Walt Disney's Donald Duck 90th Anniversary Collection coming out from Fantagraphics. That last week of June, we have Sense of Sinister from Marvel Comics coming out, and this is the trade paperback version by Kieran Gillen and other writers, and Paco Medina, Lionel Francis Yu doing that cover. This collects Sense of Sinister number 1, Immortal X-Men 1 through 3, Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants 1 through 3, Nightcrawler 1 through 3, Sins of Sinister Dominion number 1, and that is Immoral X-Men, not Immortal X-Men. This one has 344 pages. It's $50. And Realm of X is coming out. This is by friend of the channel, Tarun Grombag. And this collects Realm of X 1 through 4. Diogenes Neves is the artist with Bruno Oliveira. $17.99, 120 pages. Venom by Al Ewing, Volume 6, Infiltration is coming out. And this also collects issues 26 through 30, Al Ewing and Torun Grombach, Julius Ota. $15.99, 112 pages. Marvel Masterworks, The Incredible Hulk, Volume 18. Continuing the Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema era. This has issues 266 to 279, and then material for Marvel Fanfare number 7. Defenders Epic Collection, Enter the Headman, and this is Defenders Epic Collection Volume 2, collecting Defenders 12 through 25, Giant Size Defenders 1 through 4, Marvel 2-in-1, 6 and 7, plus material for Mystery Tales 21, World of Fantasy 11, and then Tales of Suspense number 9. Thunderbolts, World Strike, Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, Geraldo Borges, Nico Leon, $17.99, 176 pages, and collects Thunderbolts 1 through 4, and Devil's Reign, Winter Soldier. Captain Marvel by Margaret Stoll. This is a big, thick book, collecting issues of The Mighty, Captain Marvel 0 through 9, Captain Marvel 125 to 129, Generations Captain Marvel and Marvel, and The Life of Captain Marvel 1 through 5. Ramon Rosanas, Brent Schnuver, and Terry Dodson are some of the artists. $44.99, 488 pages. Wolverine by Benjamin Percy, Volume 3. This is the oversized hardcover for $49.99, and it has 392 pages, collecting issues of Wolverine 26 through 32 and 33, the A story 34 through 35, and 37 through 40, as well as X-Force by Benjamin Percy, Volume 3, and that one is $44.99, 328 pages, and collecting X-Force 15 through 20, and Wolverine number 13, so it's got that crossover in there. New X-Men is getting the Modern Era Epic Collection treatment. E is for Extinction, so Grant Morrison's era kicks off with issues 114 to 126, and Annual 2001, which is the Landscape Annual. Frank Quitely, Ethan Van Sciver, and other artists on this particular book, with Grant Morrison writing it. $44.99, 384 pages. And from the world of DC Comics, Absolute Superman by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank coming out that week. $150, 664 pages. The Penguin, Prodigal Bird. So this is The Penguin Volume 1 by Tom King, Stefano Guadino. And this collects The Penguin 1 through 6. $19.99, 200 pages. And Lobo, Big Fraggin' Compendium. This was my number 12 when I had to choose 10 books for this month. I love the stuff in here because you have Keith Giffen, you've got Alan Grant, Val Samaix, Simon Beasley, and it is a big book. It's not an omnibus, but I will take it. I love all collected editions. It's a thickie. It is 1,256 pages, $59.99, and it collects Lobo, the miniseries 1 through 4, Lobo 0 through 9, Annuals 1 and 2, Lobo Paramilitary Christmas Special number 1, Lobo's Back 1 through 4. I love the artwork in that. That's Simon Beasley. Lobo Blazing Chain of Love, Lobo Infanticide 1 through 4, Lobo Portrait of a Victim number 1, The Un-American Gladiators 1 through 4, The Convention Special number 1, A Contract on God, GAWD 1 through 4, Lobo in the Chair 1, Green Lantern Corps Quarterly number 8, Superman Man of Steel number 30, The Demon 11 through 15, Omega Man 3, and Profiles pages from Who's Who number 8 and Lobo Cop number 1 parody. Man, it brings back a lot of memories. Batman, Catwoman, The Gotham War. Chip Zdarsky and Teenie Howard teaming up on this book with Jorge Jimenez and Nico Leon, collecting Batman, Catwoman, The Gotham War battle lines, and Batman 137 and 138, Catwoman 57 and 58, and Batman, Catwoman, The Gotham War Scorched Earth. Absolute Final Crisis coming back to print. If you're a fan of the Crisis books and you're missing one of the Crisis in Absolute Edition, here it is. Grant Morrison's, J.G. Jones, Carlos Pacheco, Doug Mankey, Marco Rudy, and collecting Batman 682 to 683, Final Crisis 1 through 7, Final Crisis Superman Beyond 1 and 2, and Final Crisis Submit 1 and Final Crisis Sketchbook. This one is $125, 480 pages. I don't know if it comes with the 3D glasses for those Superman stories or not. I know the standard size hardcover did, but this one does have the redrawn artwork by J.G. Jones when he was running late on the monthly issues. You had Doug Mankey step in and do some of the fill-in art, but I think he went back and finished it. So that's really cool. The Flash Year 1 by Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter is getting a new edition, collecting the Flash 70 through 75. And we are also getting from the world of Image Comics, 1949 is getting a hardcover format, and that is by Dustin Weaver. And this collects, this is Packlist 1949, as originally published as Packlist 5 through 7. Huh. I love that cover. I didn't even know about this particular book. So if you read it, let me know. Cobra Commander Volume 1 is coming out. Not the direct market, but just the standard cover for everybody. Dark Ride is coming out, and that is the Volume 3. Joshua Williamson. Andre Brazan is the artist on the book. And we're also getting the I Hate Fairy Tale, the whole Fluffing Tale Compendium Volume 1. And that is being published by the folks at Image, of course. Scotty Young working on this book. It's been available in two hardcovers. This collects I Hate Fairyland and I Hate Image F's Free Comic Book Day 2017. All 20 issues of I Hate Fairyland for $34.99. It is a soft cover. And Kaya Volume 3 is coming out. And that is by Wes Craig, who did the artwork in the Deadly Class, and of course Guardians of the Galaxy. This collects Kaya's 12 through 17, $14.99. From the world of Dark Horse Comics, we are getting the Asiri Volume 1, and that is by Roye Okupe, as well as the Eerie Archives Volume 6, the sister comic to Creepy. But this has Jack Sparling, Carlos Garzon, Tom Sutton, Nicola Cuti, and Buddy Saunders. Collecting issues 28 through 31. The EC Archives, Crime Suspense Stories, Volume 2 is coming out. Johnny Craig, Jack Davis, Graham Ingalls, and Jack Kamen. Collecting issues 7 through 12, 216 pages, $19.99. Hellboy, The Crooked Man, and the Return of Effie Kolb. So this has artwork in here by the legendary Roger Corman. If you've never read The Crooked Man, it is creepy and amazing. And Hellboy and the BPRD, The Return of Effie Kolb 1 and 2. Usagi Jimbo, 40th Anniversary Reader is coming out. This is a trade paperback, $14.99, 144 pages, and collects A Mother's Love, Blade of the Gods, Way of the Samurai, Chanuyo, Cut the Plume, The Artist, Bonturi, and Adachi. And from the world of Boom Studios, we are getting Garfield Full Course Volume 3, and that is a trade paperback, as well as Sons of El Topo coming out in a hardcover format. From IDW, we're getting Julie and the Blue Guitar, American Girl Mysteries Across Time. And that is by Casey Gilly and Felia Hanakata. And 96 pages, $9.99. From Dynamite, we're getting the Lilo and Stitch graphic novel. The 626 graphic novel, $14.99. And Red Sonja, Black, White, and Red, the signed edition, is finally coming out that day. And that one is $49.99. From the world of manga, from Kodansha Comics, we're getting A Sign of Affection Omnibus Volume 2. That is by Sue Morishita, $22.99. And Disney Descendants, Mao's Royal Challenge is coming out. Fist of the North Star, continuing this amazing series. If you haven't picked it up, it's being published by Viz, by Tetsuo Hara. I freaking love this series. And they are following the mapping like the books were when they were released in Japan. We are also getting the I Hear the Sunspot, an original graphic novel from One Piece books. Gravitation, the collector's edition, is coming out from Seven Seas Entertainment, Volume 1, and that is $24.99. And we're also getting the Initial D Omnibus Volume 2, continuing that series. And I hope they finish it out too, because I was a big fan of the Tokyo Pop stuff, and then they discontinue it. And Vertical Comics is coming out with Kaina of the Great Snow Sea, Volume 1, by Tsutomu Nehie and Itoe Takemoto, $13.95. Mermaid Prince is coming out that week from the folks at Vertical Comics, as well as My Name is Shingo, the Perfect Edition Volume 2. I cannot wait to get that one. I have Volume 1, and I want to do an overview of it, and yeah, maybe I'll wait for Volume 2. This is from Viz, and it is continuing the Kauzo Umes series, but I think it's only 2 of them, and that's it. $35 for that particular hardcover. And My Noisy Roommate, Volume 1, is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Kodansha. We're also getting Reborn Rich coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks at Seven Seas Entertainment. And we're getting the Tales of Tendo Family, Volume 2, and that is being published by the folks over at One Piece. And One Piece Books is Peace. I feel like I need to mention that all the time, just in case. Villain Actor is being published by the folks over at Titan Comics. And we're getting the Wild Beast Forest House coming out that week, and that's being published by the folks at Tokyo Pop. Becoming a Princess Knight and Working at a Yuri Brothel. And look, them girls are having a lot of fun. This is Volume 2 and published by Ghost Ship, and it is Hinaki, the writer and artist on that book. From other publishers, we have Ablaze Artist Spotlight, Werther del Dera, Bandit set, and that is the same gentleman that's working on Something is Killing the Children. So if you're interested in those particular art styles, that is what's being collected in this particular set. And from Magnetic Press, we're getting Adraste, and that is by Matthew Babay. And this is the trade paperback, okay. All New Classics Captain Canuck, Volume 1, Time Chase is coming out. And Alley Oop and the Brain Butcher is coming out in a trade paperback format, as well as Alley Oop First Time Travel Adventures, 1939 to 1942. Amazonia Episode Volume 1 is coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks at Cinebook. Ablaze is publishing the Animal Castle Mixed Format Collector's Set, and that is $49.99. And we're also getting the Back to Fairy Talia, I believe is how you pronounce it, published by Invader Comics. And Betty and Veronica, A Year in the Life is coming out that week from Archie Comics. I don't talk enough about Archie, but I used to love that stuff when I was a kid. Do any of you still keep up with Archie? Beyond the Quest for Maiden is coming out from Leif Gleason Comic House, $16.99. And Blitz 1 through 3, the collected band edition, is coming out from Ablaze Studio by Cedric Biscay and Harumo Sanazaki, $29.99. And Captain Canuck Archives, Chariots of Fire Volume 2, as well as the Captain Canuck Archives, The Unholy War. Magnetic Press is coming out with Carbon and Silicon in a trade paperback format. The Critical Millennium Dark Frontier Black Star Edition is coming out in a hardcover format, and that is being published by the folks over at Magnetic Press. And we're also getting the Denizen coming out in a trade paperback, published by the folks at Vault Comics by Tim Danielle and David Andre and Chris Sheehan doing the artwork in that. Downset Fight 10th Anniversary Edition hardcover is coming out that very same week from the folks at Oni Press. And we're also getting the Frank Miller's Ronin Gallery Variant Edition coming out that week. Now, I am a big fan of Ronin, and I'm curious what exactly this contains in it. Because, well, I know that Frank Miller has his own printing company now, or publishing company, but this is $195. I believe it's like the artist edition, if I'm not mistaken, but this is by Graffiti Designs, and it's a big book. Just looking at the dimensions of it, so it is the size of one of those artist edition. Girl Power, Amanda Connor's Gallery Variant Edition is coming out that same week, and that is also being published by Graffiti, so it's another art book. That one's $125. Godkiller Spider-Land Deluxe Edition finally coming out, and this is volume 3. I'm a big fan of these books, so I'm glad they're continuing them. This is published by Black Mask Studios. It's been a couple of years since the last one. The Golden Age Classics Amazing Man hardcover volume 1 is coming out. Heavyweight Family Story of Holocaust Empire Memory is coming out that week, and that is being published by William Morrow. And Iris is coming out in a trade paperback version, and that is being published by the folks at Fantagraphics. We're also getting J&K trade paperback, published by Fantagraphics, as well as Lady Death Omnibus, Volume 1. Now, this is a reprint by Coffin Comics, and this is the big book. It looks like an absolute edition. And Lady Death Rules, Volume 4, from Coffin Comics. Midnight Order is coming out that week by Magnetic Press. There's a hardcover and a softcover. The hardcover is $39.99. The softcover, $24.99. And The New Adventures of Encanto, Volume 1, Time to Shine, coming out from Paper Cuts in a trade paperback and a hardcover. I love when studios do that. Pell Queen is coming out that very same week. Again, a hardcover and a softcover. This one from Quill Tree Books. And the Pre-Code Classics Web of Evil is coming out in a softy format. So softcover format for $32.99. Shangri-La is coming out in a trade paper. Man, Magnetic Press said, you know what? We're going to take our popular titles, put them all in trade paperback format. Silver Streak Season 1 Starting Line is coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks at Leave Gleason Comic House, as well as Sudden Death, trade paperback from Scout Comics, and that is by Alexander Banks Jungman and Robert Ahmad. And from that same week, we're getting Time Buddies Volume 1 coming out in a trade paperback format. And Tower of God Volume 4 is being published in a hardcover and a trade paperback. And that is $24.99 for the hardcover, $18.99 for the trade paperback format. And that's by Webtoon Unscrolled. Tunis to Sydney is coming out in a trade paperback format. And When the Lake Burns is coming out from the folks at Bdang Publishing. Now, if you're interested in purchasing any of these books, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And those are the collected editions in June of 2024. Let me know in the comments down below what you are picking up, what you're most excited for. And again, if you wanted to see the written documentation, that can be found on our Patreon. And speaking of our Patreon, thank you to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Could not be doing this without you all. That is it, everybody. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.